Kurt, it's Alan Perot.
I'm going to put you on the phone with myself and Brian Ettinger. I told you who Brian is. He's a good friend and a trusted partner of mine. He has access. He doesn't get paid. He does this as a favor for Biden with the interagency organized crime task force that works with our agencies.
Yes.
But he's also very close to Biden on a number of issues. He was his former staffer. I trust him with my life, and we're business partners. So I'm going to have you, I've told him about you. You don't have to go through all the background about who you are.
Okay.
But I want you to tell him the most recent situation, and then Brian and I are going to talk about it, because we're going up to New York together. So we'd like to put you on speakerphone now and introduce you.
Yes.
Alan, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Let me put the volume up. All right, you've got to speak loudly. This is Brian Ettinger. Yes, sir. How are you?
Very well, sir. How are you, Brian?
Good. Speak very loud, Alan, so we can hear you. We're in a car. Kurt told me about, I guess, the latest incident was with Governor Richardson, and he went through your background and who you are and the people that you previously contacted, and he indicated that you were going to try to get Susan Collins and Lieberman united together to go in and see to brief the president or the vice president about the situation.
You are correct.
And I understand you're into the preservation of falcons. I'm sure you do know most of the royal members of the royal family because that's what they hunt with, is falcons, as well as Ben Laden used to hunt with falcons.
Well, sir, I worked exclusively for President Sheikh Zayed, the late president of the United Arab Emirates. I lived with him and his family for 20 years. I also trained falcons for the Saudi crown prince before he became King Abdullah. Yes, falconry is the Rosetta Stone for Al-Qaeda. I met Victor Boot in Sheikh Zayed's falconry camps, and recently, between November 2004 and up until recently, my team members have met Osama bin Laden 6 times inside Iran. We have repeatedly notified the U.S. government and only received, first we were ignored, then we were obstructed, and then we were threatened.
I mean, that doesn't surprise me. There's a friend of mine who's an international hunter, and he hunts with falcons with the royal family of the UAE, and his name is Saeed Khan Karacha.
Yes.
And I don't know if you know Saeed, but he takes them in the Himalayas to go this mountain goat. They go hunting with the royal family there.
Yes.
And he told me about a year ago that because he has a house also in Quetta, he told me that he knew recently that bin Laden was in northern Iran, and that he's an American citizen, and told people at the embassy, and they ignored him like the plague. I haven't told you this, but on my most recent trip to Kuwait, I was with my 2 closest friends there, Sheikh Mohammed, who's the Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Minister, and former U.S. Ambassador, and Sheikh Saud, who was the ambassador during Desert Storm.
Yes.
And who was George Bush, the father's closest friend in the Middle East.
Yes.
And he's a very close friend of mine, and we were having a private dinner with his son Noah, who's another really close friend of mine. And we got to talking about bin Laden, and I said, Sheikh Saud, where do you think he is? He said, oh, Kurt. He said, there's no doubt, he's in Iran. Yeah, I just told Kurt, I said, no, the better way of doing it, if Susan Collins and Lieberman are on board, I wouldn't go see Obama, I'd go see Biden. And Brian can arrange that. Brian can arrange that directly, Alan.
Here's the problem, sir. We have identified with documentation 3 mechanisms used by the Bush administration to covertly engineer bin Laden's house arrest inside Iran. We have identified 2 mechanisms used by this administration to continue the legacy. And Hillary Clinton's fingerprints are all over this, and Leon Panetta's fingerprints are all over this. we will have tremendous opposition.
But yeah, because I told Kurt Dennis that he is being protected by us. We don't really want to get him. We want him under the radar screen because he basically made a deal that he's not going to hit us here in the U.S.
Well,